Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Wednesday. All right, guys. Well, last night we got not only the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but we also got Vanderpump Rules. So we're going to be talking about a little bit of both. And tomorrow we're actually going to be doing a hot, messy topic. So I'm excited for that. It kind of makes more sense, honestly, if we move it from Friday to Thursday, just to give a little bit more of a gap in between. But yeah, we'll play with it and we'll see. Obviously, we have a lot to cover. This is a huge week. And tonight we get the new premiere of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So it's like boom, boom, boom. Yes, we love that. Now, with that, Meredith is also speaking out on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So we're going to break it all down. Smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And let's jump right in. All right, guys. So obviously, we saw last night's episode, and this was definitely interesting. It's always fun to watch the women get into their little spats when they're dressed like this. But I wanted to kind of go through, if you guys missed it, just to kind of give you guys some highlights of it. Bronwyn and Todd, there was the whole citizenship setup. So the episode pretty much centered around Bronwyn hosting a themed event called Spill the Boston Tea Party to celebrate getting her American citizenship. Okay. Well, she ended up picking up Todd from the airport like she always does, wearing a blow up costume. This time it was a sloth. And she was leaning into this little quirky dynamic that we have seen from her since day one. But we know that there's a lot of tension that's still lingering over Todd and his alleged infidelities. But she's clearly trying to smooth things over and move forward. And she confesses that she told Meredith what Whitney said about Meredith's drinking. And Todd reacts with this kind of disappointed dad vibe. Yeah, that's kind of how that went. That kind of drives me insane too, because I think when you're dating somebody so much older, Jason and I had to kind of go through this little phase too, like where we have a 10-year age gap. And when I met him, he was 30, I was 20, and I was like a doe-eyed baby entering into the world. And Jason would tell me things like, no, you should do things this way, or you should do it this way. And I was like, I'm free. I'm going to run and be wild and crazy. I just didn't want to be told what to do anymore. I feel like I'm like in that movie, The Last Holiday. It's like I spent my whole life in a box. So I don't want to be buried in one. Okay, that's a little dramatic. I get it. But anyways, Todd suggested that the group needs a kumbaya moment where everyone apologizes, and that inspired Bronwyn to make this whole Boston Spill the Tea Party event about spilling the tea and moving forward. And he made a little dark joke reminding her that during that era, they used to hang the traitors. So, yeah, clearly he's saying they're a bunch of traitors. Now, I also wanted to speak out about Whitney and Justin because we know that they had that Wild Rose Beauty fallout. We knew that this was coming. They are in a bad place financially and emotionally after Wild Rose Beauty failed. That's what they're saying, which I don't get because, like, you guys bought a more expensive house. So, I mean, I'm just confused. But she questions a large bank transfer that Justin made to a vendor, and Justin insists that he's trying to make things right with people that they owe money to. So Whitney explained that they merged Wild Rose Beauty into a new entity, which she now calls a really bad decision. And she's actively fighting to, well, get her shit back. Get back the Wild Rose name, the brand, the inventory, which she calls her biggest asset. She said that she wanted Justin to work with her for years. And when he finally did, they wanted to make it into a billion-dollar company. And she deeply regrets choosing the direct selling, like MLM route, saying that she could have been in big box stores instead. And he apologized for steering her into that path. But Whitney says that the apology is not enough. That was my everything, and now it's gone. And in the confessional, she even admitted that she started to resent Justin for the business failing and for not listening to her gut. As far as Heather goes, though, we know that Heather is preparing to enter into her empty nester era, which she's so excited about because her daughter Annabelle is headed to college in Tampa. And her daughter Georgia, they decorated Annabelle's room with her university's gear as a sort of little surprise send-off. And Heather says that her goal as a mom was to raise her kids until they're 18 and on their own. And she's finally excited to take a deep breath. And she said that she's felt like a single mom even while married and is now looking forward to not feeling responsible for another person. So she wants to redirect some of that energy back into herself in this chapter as an empty nester. Now, Bronwyn is also shown working on the LGBTQ plus Pride Flag project, aiming to have every non-government building in Salt Lake City raise a Pride flag. And her mom, Muzzy, helped her package and mail out some of the Pride flags, despite them not aligning with her own political beliefs. But Muzzy told Bronwyn, as long as it helps you, I don't care, saying that she'll support her daughter even if the politics, they differ. And it seemed like we got a little bit of a breakthrough. Muzzy finally told Bronwyn that she's a good mom to Gwen and that she's so proud of her, which Bronwyn has been desperate to hear. And she even praised her, saying, you've been a great mom for Gwen and you need to be proud of what you're doing because you're doing such a great job. And immediately after that, Muzzy still undercutted it by pointing out that Bronwyn's spreadsheet for tracking packages is completely wrong. And yep, that just brought it back to the regular banter. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I thought that this was a good episode. What really kind of threw me off was this whole alcoholic pill popper explosion kind of situation. Whitney and Meredith, the women both of them accused the other of lying about what was said about this whole plane incident. And we saw where tensions clearly escalated. You know, you're going to call me an alcoholic or call me a liar. Let's do it. Alcoholic, pill popper. And Whitney claims that she's calling it out from a place of concern based on what she's observed. But clearly this delivery, if somebody has an issue like that, which I don't think Meredith does at all, this is very fucking harsh and reckless. And Meredith immediately retaliated by pulling out multi-drug urine test kits, which she clearly brought in anticipation of the accusation. She knew what was going to go down. And she handed the drug tests out as gifts, essentially saying that if anyone wants to accuse her, they can all test themselves. And none of the women actually took the test. So she insisted that she does not have an abuse problem, reiterating that these rumors are damaging to her mental health and her reputation. And even Lisa Barlow, in her confessional, she was disgusted by Whitney's behavior, and she questioned the group's lack of compassion toward an emotional friend being labeled as a drug addict instead of being supported. Yeah. I mean, it was up. It was really up. Like, especially if you think somebody has a problem. Hold on.
Did I say things on that flight about Brittany? 100% I did. A portion of the conversation was about Brittany and a portion of it was about other things as well. Quite frankly, the large majority was not about the TikTok. Everything I said about Brittany, I had already said to her face. There was nothing new, no physical contact whatsoever. I mean, I wouldn't touch that hair. Come on. So look, did I say things on that flight about Brittany?
Okay. Well, there you have it. She's saying, yes, I said it. I've said these things to you. I've said these things about you to you. So what is the difference? The difference is there were no cameras. So you guys are trying to turn this into something that it wasn't. Okay. I want to hear what you guys think, guys. Pop off in the comment section. Smash the like button. If you guys are not subscribed, get subscribed. And we'll see you soon. Awkward.